The next step in simplifying expressions with exponents is simplifying rational expressions, or that is, expressions that are fractions. Now, simplifying fractions with variables is very similar to simplifying numeric fractions. If we had to simplify 4/8, what we would notice is that 4 is a factor of both 4 and 8. So we can divide the numerator and denominator both by 4. Now, if I were to illustrate that, we might take this as thinking of the numeric fraction as 4 divided by 4 times 2. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. And then the 2 is left. So this would be 1 over 2, or 1/2. And that's essentially the way we simplify numeric fractions. Now with variables, it is very similar. So let's take x to the 5th over x to the 3rd. If we were to expand the numerator, there would be 5x's. And if we were to expand the denominator, there would be 3. And we can divide out or reduce each pair from numerator and denominator, and we're left with 2x's. And remember that even though we've canceled all of the x's in the denominator, 1 remains. But anything over 1 is just the numerator, so this would be x times x, or x squared. Next example, x to the 4th divided by x to the 7th. Again, we can write this as x to the 4th and x to the 7th, and we can divide out the common factors, and we're left with x to the 3rd in the denominator and 1 in the numerator. And that's really important. Remember that when everything gets divided out, it doesn't just disappear. We leave a 1 in its place. The next example, we can expand over. Now this one, we can divide out both x's and y's. I'm missing an x down here. Okay, so we would divide out 2 x's, leaving 1's, and in this case 2 y's, leaving 1's. And we're left with, in the numerator, I see 1, 2, 3 y's, and in the denominator, there is 1 x left over. And finally, this last example. So this would be 5x times y, and 30x times x times y. Now, in addition to simplifying the variables, which we could do by dividing out 1x and 1y, 5 divided by 30 is the same as 1/6. So this would be 1/6, and we're left with 1y in the numerator, 1x in the denominator. And whenever we have a factor of 1, we do not write it unless it's alone. So this would simplify as y over 6x. Now when you have more complicated expressions, such as 2x cubed squared times 3x over 5x to the 4th, before doing any simplifying, it's a good idea to expand the numerator and denominator first, and then turn it into a problem like the previous ones. So this would be 2x to the 3rd times 2x to the third times 3x divided by 5x times 5x times 5x times 5x. And if we look around, there are 4 factors of x in the denominator, and there are 7 in the numerator. So we can rewrite this then as 2 times 2 times 3, that's 4 times 3 is 12, x to the 7th, divided by 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625, x to the 4th. And we might be able to see that if we were to expand x to the 7th and x to the 4th, we would divide out 4 factors of x from numerator and denominator, leaving 12 x to the 3rd over 625. Now that should give you enough information to do most of the dividing out problems. Good luck.